Hello, I did my makeup today again. I meant to just put eyeshadow on and darken my eyebrows, but then I just played around and added a little like more circle thingies, accentuating. It doesn't show very well because it's all pixely. I don't really like the iPad camera, but it's what I got. Low key, I miss digital, not analog. I miss when things weren't all digital. I miss analog stuff. I have a DSLR camera, but yeah. Drinking nutrition. Tried to record earlier. I wasn't in the right mind space. Excuse me, it's cold in here. And I'm having actually. So I have this Himalayan pink salt. I got this from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just gonna smell it really quick and cut it out so it doesn't look weird. Okay. So, yeah. I looked over and it looked like I had like a bigger shadow in one nostril. My nostrils do have a different size, but this one's actually bigger, so I was like, I don't know. Anyway, oopsie. So, like this little jar. I have a box here that I'm using as another table because all I need is more tables in my life. But yeah, I've been contemplating a lot of things. I've been dealing with some been dealing with some emotions from the past being brought up in recent situations and the confusion and stuff about that. I don't know what I want to do as a reading today. I just want to do one. And so somebody said to get more in touch with your spirit guides, in order to do that, do things that make you feel happy. And what makes some people happy doesn't work for other people. Because not everyone can fit into a certain mold. So you have a lot of these people being like, your life can improve if you do this thing and that thing. And then you try to do all those things and then you wear yourself out and then you feel like a failure. When I say you, I mean the royal you, not the not you personally, but and people in general. Like, if a person tries to like adhere to a structure that doesn't work for them, that is really smoky. A lot of the oil has burnt out in the top of this. I've had this for years. I don't know if like part of it being very smoky is it Wow. Yeah, that's a bit much. Good thing I have this convenient thing of water. There we go. Anyway, so there's a video I watched about specific wording escapes me, but pretty much about how people have different sleep schedules for a reason. And people would, like, way back when, would take like shifts in sleep so that way they would be safe, and it was the night owls that would protect people and stuff like that. So like nowadays, like, if people had to sleep during night, then we wouldn't have night jobs as much as we do. People are choosing that role for whatever reason they are, but they are choosing it because it has a function. But anyway, finding your happiness, my extroverted intuition is just going out the window right now. And on that front, so yeah, there's videos telling me, oh, you shouldn't share your ideas. You know what? Screw that noise. I'm an INTP. Sharing my ideas is what I do. So I am creating, trying to create a system combining the MBTI and tarot. I'm not going to give you the details of that, but I would like to be somebody who combines those things, because I really like MBTI and I like tarot and I like talking about how I'm an INTP and how that relates to me interacting with others, because every different type of person has their different ways of interacting. This looks awkward. I'm not that lopsided, it's just the way everything's creasing, because this is like a half shirt. And underneath this, I have a "You Mad Bro" troll shirt. It makes me laugh still to this day. I've had this shirt forever. So, anyway, doing what makes you happy. I was like, well, what should I be doing to make myself happy? I don't know. Nothing makes me happy, bro. And like, the thing is, the things that make me happy are the things I'm told not to do. And it's not because I want to be a contrarian. It's because I like to explore, and I'm being told not to explore by people who are overwhelmed by exploration, and they want people to be more structured. So basically, introverted intuition people who want organization, the difference between that and extroverted intuition, it's just like, I saw a video, it's in my, I think it's public, my MBTI 101, and it is like NE versus NI. So people who explore and gather versus people who have to sort that information, sort those things. And I'm definitely a gatherer. I do organize, I do sort, but that's because I'm all on my own for the most part. And I have grown up in a situation where there wasn't teamwork and cooperation in my family. As much as I care about them, that wasn't there. And so I needed to fulfill both areas, which is why my NI and my NE are both kind of highly developed because having an introverted function as my no, it's actually my secondary. I was saying primary because I used to think I was an INFJ, but it's an auxiliary function, and TI. So your initial your initial thought your initial function, just like, you don't think about it because it's just the first thing that, it's the first channel, it's the first door you go through, so you don't really think about it much. When it comes to the third door, the fourth door, then you start thinking about it more. But yeah. So I found out that what makes me feel happy in my current state is watching videos of INTP memes, because I feel related to and understood, and like, I don't have to adhere to ESFJ. You gotta do this to be successful in life, and you have to like wake up early in the day, and like, it helps. But villainizing those who function differently isn't gonna help them. Because you just function differently, and that's okay. It's okay to be a little messy here and there. It is human, it is normal, and sometimes you have to accept the messiness within you and stop beating yourself up for not being that ESFJ, ESTJ. I said ESFJ earlier, I meant TJ, but I mean ESFJ too. Yeah, I think I had a manager or two who were ESFJ, and we just didn't see on the same page. But also, they were overly controlling, and they weren't quite in their I have stuff on the screen. They weren't in balance with themselves. Every type, they can be either developed and balanced or unbalanced. There's a whole spectrum in every type. The type is just what the brain does and how it processes information. It's not your actions. It's not your reactions. It's just, how do you take in this information and where do you put it? And how do you use what you put that information, It's like Minecraft. If you go and you dig in the ground and you gather stuff, or you're probably like, probably have an E, but you're probably introverted type like me. I'm just thinking of this kind of as I go, but it makes sense to me. And if you're like an extroverted intuition, you would likely, well, in Minecraft, most of what you need is like iron and diamonds for tools so you can do stuff. So in part, I feel like an ENTP would be exploring the top of the world a lot. So would an SE. So you have like, anyway, this isn't a whole lesson about MBTI. But I have started to gather kind of the interweavings of my formula for the cards. It's been up here for a while. I'm finally getting it on paper. I was kind of hoping to have somebody to kind of bounce off information from, but then I just, probably not the best idea to do that anyway, because I'll just be thinking, well, maybe they're like, if they don't want anything to do with it, then what if they scamper off with my information or something? But that's not gonna happen. Especially since I'm laying the groundwork that I'm just gonna talk about it. So talking about it, there's some readings where it's like, don't talk about what you're doing and stuff like that. And I'm like, to the wrong people. I mean, somebody could, like, try to take my idea and try to get it done before me, but it's not going to be the quality that an INTP would be able to put into it. Because, you know, that cherry in reverse. 4 of Hearts is in reverse again. Oh, why do I keep doing that? But yeah, like, I'm interweaving more information than just the basics. So, you know, I'm going to put a lot of thought into it. It's going to be a little bit, I've got to do artwork. I'm going to do my own artwork, which, to be honest, I like the idea of doing art. I don't like doing the art. Kind of sucks. But, like, this is, like, a prime example of I was setting up a scene to do, like, you can kind of see a little bit of it with, like, this is the sky, these are the trees, and there was going to be a path. I was laying, like, the basic information, like, you're taught when you're in art school. You lay the foundation, you build on top of it. You see how there's a hole there? I got mad. And I punched it with a brush. The brush is fine. Don't worry about it. But then I fixed it because, like, if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have thought of, oh, I can fix a canvas if I ruin it and make it part of the art. I used a certain type of glue. I have it over there, but I don't want to get it. But yeah, I fixed it, and I'll incorporate that somehow. And I had started on painting a fall scene with a different type of medium. That's acrylic. You can, like, light bounce it. And this is Hemi gouache, but I'm having trouble with that because you see the sky is not blending because every time you put water on it, it picks up underneath it. So I'm gonna have to just work on that. But the bottom looks pretty good so far. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, it'll get there, but that's kind of what I was doing and playing around with things. Yes, I put that there because it looks messy over there. I have to have the heater on or else I'm gonna freeze. It's been cold lately. So once again, as normal, almost 20 minutes into the video. So just expect that I am going to talk about my bullshit and my nonsense, and I'm gonna swear, and I'm just gonna be myself. And I'm gonna withhold my integrity because I want to talk about what I want to talk about first, so I don't interject it into cards and hijack the reading as something I just want to say. I mentioned it in a previous reading that I have seen, like, I'm not targeting anybody with this. This is a general thing that I've noticed with several different people, is that sometimes something will come up in the cards and they'll be, like, addressing their own thoughts. And yeah, sure, it doesn't align with me. And that's why people need discernment, is because when you're reading cards, anything in your mind is coming out, but don't do that on purpose and say it's a reading, because that's bad karma. Like, that's why you don't doctor like ghost finding footage, because that karma will come across you in, like, your health. You don't want to speak untruths. So I'm trying to think about wording. I almost said warning. Yeah, kind of saying this as a warning. If anybody's, like, thinking about starting tarot, just clarify. If there's something that you want to specifically say, clarify it, that you're saying it and that it's not spirit. because the powers that be, even if they are ones with your greatest intention in mind, if you are misusing your platform for personal things, then they're gonna be like, we can't let that go, because it's not moral, like, it's not right to just be like, So if, like, some of my past readings, I seemed like I was pointing it in a person's direction or anything, I assure you that wasn't what I was doing. I was just reading the cards as it came up. It was coming through my mental filter. Spirit will take what's in your brain and communicate what's in your brain out with the cards for a message, and either you take it or you don't. And that's not an excuse to try to project your views onto the viewer, or project, if you know somebody's watching, you don't want to project to them through the reading. There's a card that came up, 4 of Wands, and reverse, this is what fell. This card keeps coming up for me in readings, and it's like completion. It's my welcome home card, celebration after an event, and it coming reversed. Like, I do want to state that, like, what I was saying with all that wasn't in any intention to like, it is a personal view that I was stating, and it's not in any intention to be judgmental. I just want to warn people to be careful of that. And when I said like ghost hunting things that comes out in your health, is there was somebody that I feel like did something wrong with the agreement they had with a spirit when they were ghost hunting, and then that affected their body. Like, if you're ghost hunting and you say that you're not recording, and you are recording, you are essentially lying and causing a negative karma contract, and that may affect your health. So if you are talking to any spirit, whether it is a higher being or a human that's passed on and hasn't crossed over, you don't want to be deceitful when just for content, for online content. You don't want to be like, I'm not recording, do whatever. You want to be like, okay, I am recording this, people are going to see it. If you want to show yourself and prove, I'm not saying that to anybody here. I'm just, if you want to show yourself to prove your existence and speak, then you may. Like, you need to have integrity when, if you decide to use supernatural, I almost said superintendent, if you're having communication with any being, just be sure to keep integrity in mind, not be deceitful, not to say that, like, there are people who are just indecisive who may come off as deceitful because they're not within their own power. I forgot that I put water on that, but I wanted to clear the air again. Okay, so Queen of Pentacles came out again. While I was shuffling, like, several times I saw it. And then I keep seeing the Fool in reverse. I tried to record this several times, and I just wasn't in the right energy, and I kept wanting to be defensive of my cat, and, like, stuff, like, because she kept jumping up, and I would talk about things. So, you know what, I'm just gonna take out these cards. Also, the Empress came out several times. Hierophant. Two of Hearts in reverse. And Queen of Pentacles. So I do realize I'm splitting the deck and just taking cards when usually I shuffle until something pops out, but this is me shuffling this deck. So I feel like I'm being guided a little differently. Lovers. Magician in reverse. So somebody could be manifesting in an inappropriate way, and that's causing the slowdown in the situation. Knight of Hearts in reverse could be somebody who has their heart blocked. And we had the Lovers, and now we have Justice. And you saw me shuffle this how many times? Like, I don't... That's just the power. My fridge kicked on. I have heaters running, and when the fridge kicks on, it kind of dims the light quite a bit. That's just what I'm dealing with. And then we have the Four of Cups again. So, this... I was just asking myself if this deck had a book, and it does. So, Magician and Chariot in reverse. So I didn't have any intention with this video. I just felt like, you know, it's time for me to do a reading again. Close my eyes. I don't know where any of the cards are. Mixing them up. So, who is this reading for? Give me a sign that will confirm who this reading is for. You could be thinking about this sign, or you can be this sign, or it can be significant to you. That one wants to come out. Gemini. I know a couple Geminis. Taurus. And then Pisces in the back. And my favorite K-pop person, Soho, he's a Gemini. So I get a little excited. There's also somebody that I used to watch for years and years that was a Gemini. And they stopped doing videos. And then Jacob from Drawfee is a Gemini. I look up to him a lot. You know, with Drawfee, just personal thing. Drawfee, I started watching them because that person I mentioned that doesn't do videos anymore. They were doing an art thing, and then I was like, you know, I missed that art game they were playing, so I searched up the art game they were playing, and then I came across Drawfee, and I started watching Drawfee. So that was kind of like a good bridge between, and it was much healthier, because there were some things that one person was going through which I didn't need to be involved in anymore. Like, I have a lot of sympathy, and like, if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, it was kind of like a sudden change, and it disrupted me, but Drawfee kept me going together, it kept me going. That's just the thing. And then, so Jacob from Drawfee, I used to, like, kind of dismiss him, like, I like Julia, I like Karina, I like Nathan. Jacob, it's Jacob. But now I'm like, the more I got to know him, I'm like, dude, I really connect to how he likes music, how he does things. I don't do art like he does, but I feel like I should try more to be more, like, cartoony in my art, because I'm a little bit like Julia, where I try really hard to be very precise, but I feel like I need a little bit leaning to not be so precise. But that's just me. So hopefully I'm not, like, wasting your time too much talking about that. But Gemini is concerned with duality and movement between opposing sides, kind of like how I was just talking about, and providing a bridge between the two. Positive, mutable air is sociable, outgoing, light and playful, but easily bored and in the need of variety and stimulation for a curious, agile mind. Easily bored and in need of variety is very extroverted intuition. And by the way, I'm an INTP. Soho's a INTP, and he's a Gemini. Not saying that every Gemini is going to be like one specific MBTI type. I don't think there's an actual correlation between those two as far as I know yet. But I'm open to the idea of discovering it. Just because I like to play and have fun. Very extroverted intuition. You don't have to have extroverted intuition to be in Gemini and all that. Your purpose in life is to find the twin. Every Gemini has a light and dark sides, and it's your task to recognize both characters within yourself. Communication, learning, and ideas will be central. Planets in Gemini tend to adapt themselves easily to new environments and situations. Here you will need to express yourself with lightness and variety. This is an area of life where you apply logic rather than emotion. Here's where you are curious, or where you need continual change and mental stimulus. So what I'm getting from that last part, applying logic rather than emotion, is Gemini on the cusp of a house. Where you apply logic rather than emotion, and I'm kind of getting a message to address that of, it's not so much of detaching the emotion, but detaching yourself as being part of that emotion. So a situation happens, you feel an emotion. Don't disregard that. You feel that emotion at all. But add logic to the situation and be like, don't react from the emotional standpoint. React from the logical standpoint. It's okay for you to have that emotion, but the emotion, and please do explore it, that emotion tells you something that you need to address within yourself, and then you use logic to detangle what that is. And also be curious about it. Be curious about what you need to change internally, and accept those parts of yourself. Just like I'm trying to do things that are fun, but what actually made me unwind, what made me detach from being cold and bored, was looking up memes, like, not even looking up memes, but having a video of memes of, like, INTPs doing this and that. Like, I didn't look that up. It came across my feed, but I saw myself a lot in that. I saw myself in, like, I can laugh at that. I can relate to it. I don't feel so alone. I was watching videos about, like, the avoidant attachment and then feeling bad about myself because I was like, yeah, I do those things, but I do those things because I don't want to hurt people. Like, I say, hey, you can have this if you want it. It's not a burden to me because I don't want them to be burdened by if they accept an offer from me. And it was just like, I had a lot of thoughts that were countering that, but I also was like, I don't want to be the type to just deny, what I'm being told. I want to consider it, then create my own synopsis of it, own idea of it. Okay. Following the rest of this, we're at 35:55. Earlier there was a song in my head. It has not been in my head anymore. So I think that energy cleared. I was gonna mention it, but it's gone now. There was a hole here. It's gone now, James. I make that joke, and now that Silent Hill 2 is back. That's another thing, is people were saying in readings, like, look at what made you happy as a child. What made me happy as a child was playing Silent Hill. And listening to the creepy music. That made me happy in, like, a dark way. But it's still, like, it brought, like, this curiosity and joy to me in a different, unconventional way. Sure, there are things that are brighter that make me happy, like Conker's Bad Fur Day and Sailor Moon and Banjo-Kazooie. But yeah, it was just something like experiencing the world in such a different way. Like, sure, there's a light side, there's a dark side, and life is so much lighter when you're not afraid of that dark side, because, like, nowadays I don't get afraid of video games like I used to. And I played Silent Hill because I didn't want to be afraid of things. I put myself through that fear because I didn't want to feel that fear. When I was a kid, there was a spider, and I was, like, kind of freaked out, and my dad was like, you don't have to be afraid, it's just a spider. And it's like, okay, if my dad's not afraid, then I don't need to be afraid. And it's a non-biological dad. I'm very lucky to have in my life, as much as, his negative sides do affect me quite a bit, but I still had somebody there for me. I still had a family growing up, even if it was dysfunctional. Trying to be grateful for that. I had, in the past, put too much negative, attached too many negative emotions to that. I just had an interaction with my uncle, and he got upset because, like, he was giving me coupons, and I was like, I used my food allowance for this month, and I don't see myself eating cereal, so I appreciate the thought, but I think the younger one could get more out of this. And he got kind of defensive. He got kind of upset. But I'm like, don't be upset with me because I can't use those things, because you're saying you can't go to the store and you're miserating about that. Like, then just let me give the coupons to the kid. So when that played out, it wasn't about the coupons, it was about him wanting to be accepted for something he was offering, but, sometimes you gotta say no, and it's gotta be okay to be saying no. And a person might feel a little left out, which which I've felt left out quite recently, but oh well, whatever. Here's what it is. So I'm gonna stop rambling and get that book. Yeah, where is that book? It's a book. It's over here. No, where put it? I don't know where I put it. Isn't it? But yeah, I've been thinking about life. Yeah, I'm feeling negative emotions, but I'm trying to let myself process them in the most healthy way possible. Which might look like being online and posting subtweets here and there that I know that the other person's not even gonna. I guess it's not for the fact of wanting the other person to hear me or needing validation from them, but it's just like an outlet for getting that emotion out. Because like if I want to post songs, just for an example, for people who might be in a situation where it's like, what do I do with my emotions? Because if I do that, then it's toxic, and if I do that, then it's toxic. Well, you're allowed to listen to songs to get emotion out of you. And if you want to post those songs, just like don't send the person like a whole list of things you want them to listen to, and don't expect them to listen to them. But like if you want to post those things and just get it out and share how you're feeling, it's okay. So that's what I've done lately for just kind of getting feelings out. It's music, listening to Tool again. Tool is one of my favorite bands, and I go to Tool when I feel like really just mentally what the fuck even, what's going on in my life. Oh yeah, so because of the imagery of the cards, I'm not going to read this yet. Because of the imagery, I forgot what the Four of Hearts is about. And this kept coming up and kept coming up and kept coming up. So, yeah, that whole like feeling left out that I was talking about earlier. So this person is like contemplating. And they have hearts around them, and they're like focused on this silver heart, if you can tell. And it's kind of reflecting. It's a reflective metal heart, where the other ones are just regular charms. Well, this one's reflecting back at them. So it could be somebody in a situation where they're reflecting a part of themselves back to them. Now, originally, when I was doing my other reading, I was like, I don't want to do a reading about what somebody's thinking of you, because of like this one video I watched, and I was just like, no, I haven't even processed that video yet, so let me just process it first. Underneath that was the Ten of Wands and Six of Swords. Ten of Swords, sorry. I've had Ten of Wands come up so much. It's almost like guarding the inner child type energy I'm getting. And there's a lightning bolt shape. I kind of feel like it's putting that child to rest while you're dealing with something. Because it could look like the child's dead, but I don't think the child's dead. I think they're just tired, exhausted, and sleeping. And there's the older sibling being like, I'm gonna lay you down to take a nap. It's kind of what I'm seeing. And then Six of Swords is like a new beginning type thing. And I'm covering that up so I don't go through card after card after card right now, but a new beginning. It's a rainbow. A rainbow. So, in the book it says, for the Four of Hearts reevaluation, you need to reevaluate things. If you're bored or dissatisfied with the status quo, avoid distractions and examine your heart to gain clarity. Saying "I told you so" is not attractive. Outcome. You will see a need for reevaluation. Be aware it may be you who are the subject of the forthcoming reevaluation. Avoid crying over spilled milk or saying "I told you so." So the whole thing about crying over spilled milk, that keeps coming up in random messages for me. So, you know, that has something to say to me about, yeah, there was a situation I got really upset about, but in hindsight, I'm going to look at it and just be like, what do you think about? It wasn't the situation. It was how I felt. It was something being triggered within me. And it also reflected, like the heart reflection. And this is me telling you about my experience. So I'm not telling you that this is your experience. But I needed that reflection to be like, okay, so now that the emotions have cleared up, just like this, like, I'm sympathizing here a lot, because it's like, there's an area in your life where you need to apply logic rather than emotion. And this also pertains to that, is that, I felt all the emotion. I had to evaluate that. I had to examine how I was feeling. I had to feel what I was feeling. But like I said, not react based on that feeling. And like I wrote a post earlier about stuff, about how I felt, and like, don't read it unless you really feel like it, but I was just kind of contemplating about stuff. And then I had a realization, like after I wrote that post, I saw a video, and then I was just like, okay, well, because of the title of the video, I almost didn't click on it, because like, well, I don't know if I care too much about that, but I did just because I was curious. I followed my curiosity. And then that video kind of broke down some things about what used to go on in my head way back when. And it's almost like an addictive quality to, circulating about what somebody is thinking about you. And you don't think about why a person is doing a thing. Think about why you're reacting. And then I found that video, and then I added that as like, here's one perspective, here's the other one. And I think that it's like recognizing both characters within yourself. A bridge between two opposites, between two ideas, between two different ways. And I am a Sagittarius, so I am a sister sign. So like Gemini is exactly opposite to me, which is kind of cool. But if you were to take up the days and like divide it in half and then separate it, then being born on the 28th, it actually kind of equals out to June 28th, which is no longer Gemini. It's the next one, which I can't remember off my head. But unless I did that math wrong, which I could have done completely. Though I may have lost my way, the light of truth has saved the day. Now every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. I resonate with that. But yeah, I might be talking a lot about me and my experiences, but if you're led to this video, it would be because Spirit wants to show you somebody who has experienced those things and can offer insight about those experiences, because that's what I do. So, Fool in reverse. Now, these cards mean something specific, as they are, as the name is. But also, the person who made the deck has their specific lens that they are telling their story through. So this doesn't say anything about what the reverse means, but it tells you kind of the story. I'm not going to read every single card because I'm already at 5109. So, enchantment of the Fool. So, the Fool is being, like, the curious. What I'm getting at is that there is a hesitancy and being curious and exploring. And, you know, that hesitancy might be the Four of Wands in reverse that now I have laying upright. But it might be because of the hesitancy of finding something that completes something within you. And, you know, the King of Hearts reverse. Like, you're trying not to... I'm not trying to project on you, but from the cards, it's saying you're trying to protect. What this in reverse can say is that you are blocked from sharing your heart, sharing your feelings. And this is the King, though. So it's not just like small feelings. It's like you feel like there is a completeness, and you're trying to not be curious about that. And then we have Princess of Swords here, Judgment in reverse, the Emperor in reverse, Magician and Chariot. Like, trying to manifest things in the wrong way. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Lights again. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that you have to examine why you went about what you did or what you are doing. You have to examine that. Find your reflection in this heart, in this other person. And what are they reflecting to you? Like, you could be upset and defensive, but that's not going to change how you go on about your life. You know, you're just experiencing that emotion, which is fine. Experience that emotion fully. Get out that anger in some way, that irritation in some way that's healthy, without hurting yourself or others. And then once that is settled, and so we have the Hierophant here over the Empress. I know I didn't complete my thought. Oh yeah, this Hierophant is like standing over these two, because I was thinking about how the Hierophant was over the Empress. It's like, don't hold yourself too high that you can't also be taught. Because this is the Empress card here. Why would the Hierophant want to be above the Empress? The Empress is looking down as well on the world. So she's examining the situation that's beneath her. That's a way to put it, like examining what's beneath you. Like, you don't have to be judgmental of it, but examining what you put behind you, what you put yourself above, will also give you information. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles who's looking up. Now she's looking up. She's the queen, so she has a very established point in their life, in her life. But they're still kind of looking up. So they still have eyes open to learning. And these both are like underneath the Hierophant. And I was seeing those two people, and these are like two people. Is like one's looking up to learn, and the other one is kind of looking down at what they have learned. So balancing those two, I feel like, are important. Is to balance what you have learned in the past and what you are learning now and will be in the future. Like, don't put yourself so high that you can't also learn, but learn from the right people. Like I was saying in the beginning, is trying to, I'm moving these as I clear talking about them. Looking to the wrong teachers for the wrong methods doesn't mean that their method is wrong. It just means it doesn't work for you. And that could be the Magician in reverse, is that there might be, and I will clarify that, but there might be somebody you're looking up to where their methods might seem like they give really good results, and it might be a result that you want for your life, but it might not fit you. But I'm going to clarify it with the cards, so that way I'm not just projecting only what's in my mind at the time, but I'll open the gate for Spirit of the Highest to kind of put their input on. Let me ask the question first, please. I said let me ask the question first. This is something they do want to tell me, but I want to, like, my spirit guides, they're like, I know your question, I know what you're asking, and I want to just clarify it out loud. I think it's Gabriel, because they're straight to the point. Okay, so the question is, what's keeping this Magician blocked? I'm feeling to pull this card. So, Strength, Mother of Pentacles. So I was talking about not projecting what I was feeling. So we have the Four of Cups coming out again, and the Mother of Wands in reverse. So over protecting the inner child, kind of similar. That came up in another reading. I don't know if I posted it, because there's one that I haven't posted, and I'm contemplating maybe I don't need to post it anymore. It was a very involved thing, but I don't want to delete it yet, and just I have to sit on it, I think. 5944. So yeah, this Four of Cups. And I'm just gonna look at it in this one too, because I'm interested in what it says. Holding the book upside down. I added tabs to this one. So for me, like, that came out when I was like, I don't want to project my own thing. An outsider will look upon your life and see supportive relationships, pleasures, and even a bit of luxury, but you don't see it that way. Instead, there's a discontentment, apathy, and even greed for more. The Four of Cups warns not to take your situation for granted or the people who supported you along the way. Look around what you are truly longing for. What are you truly longing for? Name it. So, like, reading my cards publicly, like, there are things that I am learning about myself. There, like I was saying about my family, is that I'm grateful that I had a father figure, even if it wasn't like the best one. I'm grateful he was there. He taught me how to face my fears, which other people may not have. And like, I don't know what the difference would be. Like, I don't have my biological father, and I was upset about that for a while growing up. But I came to my own realizations, but I also, like, I had someone there. So it may be difficult for me to see the struggles of somebody who didn't have those things. Also, it would be easier for me to see them as, like, maybe even having more, even if they had less in some ways, you know what I mean? But it's like the whole thing of viewing another person, like, an outsider would look upon your life and see supportive relationship, pleasures, and a bit of luxury. So other people are going to see your life in, like, a good light because they're comparing, and if they are seeing you from below, like, if you are on the bottom looking up, being like, this person has something that I wish I had, then you might be projecting them, putting them on a pedestal, as it were, and it might not be that way for them. They may think that they had a lack, which sets them back. And that's the whole human thing. It's a huge human dynamic. Isn't that causes a lot of miscommunication, is that assumption that other people, like, the grass is greener. But everybody does have their insecurities. And it is important to be grateful for the things you do have. Like, I have every art supply imaginable available to me. I have almost every paint type. I have enamels. I have ink. I have gouache, watercolor, oil. Like, I have everything. But I don't use it because of a fear of lack within my life, and I'm exposing myself a little bit with that. But I feel like I can be open about it. It's like I've stated, I struggle with doing art because of my own thoughts of lack. And it went from, I'm trying to do things like everyone else is, but I need to do them how it's good for me, and I need to be grateful for why I do the things the way I do. Also, like the Mother of Wands in reverse, and I saw this as overprotecting the inner child, overprotecting something sacred within. And I do that. So I don't know if you relate to that part. Like, I don't have a lot of relationships. I could have, because I am overprotective of a certain part of me. And there was a big shift in my energy and my outlook just from like sitting down and watching a half an hour video of something I related to, something that I actually related to, even if the whole rest of the world sees it as a problematic thing. You know, I related to it. This is my language. You know, you can be in America and be looking at Korea and being like, Korea is so problematic for this and that, or we're so problematic with this and that, and Korea is better in these circumstances. And being part of fandom, I come across that a lot, especially with something recent that's happened, was very, very toxic. And I won't go into the details because I don't want to anyway. But yeah, anyway, I feel a lot more secure in myself because I've accepted myself. I'm always trying to better myself, but I'm not trying to project somebody else's idea of what a better me is. There we go. But yeah, the blockage, and I'm saying that from my perspective because I can only speak on my perspective, and I don't want to project what your situation is because I don't know, and it will be different for everyone. But asking Spirit, like, I do trust Spirit. But you know, discernment, like, you gotta work together, not against, and not as a complete puppet. Then you don't learn anything if you're a puppet. I won't spin off into that. But a blockage and manifestation, or doing it not quite correctly, is Strength and Mother of Pentacles. So Strength, somebody was talking about this exact card in a reading, and they said that your approach with Strength should be gentle. Because he has a rose in his mouth, he has infinity. Infinity is you have as long as you need for this thing. So it's a reminder that you have time to sort this out. But also there's that gentle nature is, yes, a lion can bite, but this lion is approaching carefully and mindfully. And Mother of Pentacles. And like, maybe that other part was part of the message because I was talking about blocking. So that might have been, I don't want to deny Spirit what they're trying to say, by my own insecurities and concerns. But what could be happening is like that was a blockage. If it relates to you, it relates to you, but if not, that's okay. And there's another message to be found in this. But I think this is advice to, you know, like, you might be trying to manifest something quickly, and the quicker you try to manifest it, the slower it's gonna be. Like, you could be trying to call in a counterpart, but you need to address something within you before you can come together, so that way that wound doesn't affect the relationship. Can you get off me, please? You can stay there if you want. Just stop getting on the table. I let her get away with too much when she was a kid. When she was a little baby, and because I loved her so much. And now she just gets on the table. Let me move that so you can get to it better. Alright, so Mother of Pentacles, loving patient. The Mother of Pentacles excels in the home. She knows exactly what to do when raising a family and tending to the tasks of daily life. There's a potential for her identity to become wrapped up entirely around her children and home, which leaves her needy and attached. This is the cause of most of her turmoil. She often has qualities of a healer and is connected to nature. So you might be a healer who is very attached to healing other people and doing things for them, but you might need to establish some time for yourself. And the way to do that, I feel like, is the Strength card. Yeah, potential for her identity to become wrapped around her children. So it could be that your identity is wrapped up in something else that you're nurturing. It could even be your own learning that you're nurturing, or your family, or like an aspect that you hold dear, like with this Mother of Wands in reverse. It does tie into this, because the overprotecting, the over nurturing, just like with hers, like, I didn't want to just be dismissive to her need to get up and get water from the faucet, but she didn't used to have to do that. I always had water, like purified drinking water, that I would put down from her, for her. You know, I share my purified water with her, but she stopped drinking that because I would let her up for when the faucet was running, and the faucet usually is running because it's a hose and I need to keep it running to keep it from getting stagnant and stale. But I have it off right now. Oh yeah, I put the other one in the deck, and the Fool card came out again. The yellow sky. Alright, so I need to wrap this up, because we're at an hour. I try to do shorter videos, but it doesn't suit me. So feel free to watch it on a higher speed. I say that at the end of the videos, but I don't feel like I need to edit this one. It's common to think of this card as roaring, devouring side of the lion, but take a look again. The strength of this card suggests a much deeper force that's found within. The lion represents our most patient, composed self. He's a master of focus, compassion, and self-control. When this card comes up, you're in need of harnessing this power for yourself. All the courage you need to be found is in the muscle known as the heart. And the Fool is ready to fly. His young wings ache for flight. With a single step, he leaves behind the comfort of his nest to begin the journey through the major arcana. Is he ready? Will he fall? This is a card about beginnings. It points to the side of you that is spontaneous, excited, naive, and experienced. Others may doubt your abilities Be ready to be called the Fool. Be ready to fall, no matter what happens. No matter what people say about you. I mean, this journey, and this is your journey, and it's already begun. So what I'm getting between that is that, you know, you have, you know, patience, composed, focus, compassion, self-control. Those are very, very powerful things to have within yourself and to have mastered. But also, what is strength without curiosity? What is strength without reaching out past your comfort just a little bit and being a little bit more spontaneous, being comfortable and being naive, being comfortable with being called a fool, being comfortable with, you know, not being at the top anymore. Like, sometimes the Hierophant has to learn in order, you know, to be able to teach more, and they have to have an open mind to learning as if they were the fool, learning as if it's something new, and turning the perspective a little bit to what they're not used to. So the blockage in the manifestation is the fact that you're, like, if this pertains to you, if you are so focused on self-control and being overly compassionate and, you know, being too patient. Like, being patient is important, but if all you're doing is being patient for everything, then you're not, like, exerting any boundaries or any direction towards anything. So, you know, you have to discern what you want to put your attention on. But yeah, like, the line, his young wings ache for flight. So you could be in a very stable spot, but you feel stagnant, like you're not going anywhere, like you're not manifesting what you want. But there's an ache within you, 1616. There's an ache within you to push out from that stability a little bit. And if you're okay with being slightly unstable, then you can learn how to restabilize yourself better, but also have fun with something new that you wouldn't have experienced otherwise. So that's what I'm getting in there. Whatever you're manifesting is being slowed down, so that way you understand that concept of you know, it's very great that you are where you are. Like, it's very great. And I hope the tone of my voice doesn't sound patronizing in any way. Like, that's just the kind of the tone of voice that came out. And I realized if somebody was talking to me like that, I probably wouldn't like that tone of voice. But I'm trying to be reassuring. And then the only thing I haven't talked about yet is the Two of Hearts in reverse. So Two of Hearts is always, like, you know, coming together with something. So there might be a situation in your life that you want to come together with, but you're having some blockages with that manifestation of coming together. It might be something that's, like, right in front of you, but you're rejecting it because of your, with the Strength card, because of your willpower, even. Like, sometimes we can be like, okay, I'm not eating cake because I'm on a diet, I have this specific goal I want to reach, but, like, then you're kind of, like, missing out on, like, somebody's birthday, somebody's having a cake, and you're not participating. There's a Nine of Wands in reverse. You're not participating. And then that kind of just leaves you out of having fun in the situation, of the sacredity of the birthday. Like, if it's an occasion, like, let yourself have a piece of cake. It's okay. Like, how do you know what health is? The Sun reverse. How do you know what health is if you don't, you know, like, if you only eat things that are healthy for you, which I do really, I like, eat as healthy as you can, yes, but it's very unhealthy to be in distress about, like, I'm not allowed to have this thing, I'm not allowed to have this thing. Like, that stresses you out. And I think that's why the Sun in reverse came out. It'd be like, you're blocking yourself from joy. You're blocking yourself from something you can be excited about and enjoy in the moment. You don't have to have this thing all the time. Excuse me, the cards are floating off of this. But yeah, like, you don't need to. And okay, so we know what the Two of Wands is about. It's like offering something of your heart. I need to put tabs on this book now. Seven of Wands, courage. Discipline. So, like, was this coming out reversed early? Like, I was talking about discipline. Lord of light and life, I call upon you in my hour of need. I have chosen a course of action. Grant me the strength to prepare and endure. And it says, you will need to be disciplined. The strength of your will, character, and body may soon be tested. Gather and preserve your resources now so you may confidently defend your position later. Stay faithful to your purpose. Like, of course, like, keep to your purpose. So, like, say you're at the birthday party and then you're like, okay, it's a fun day. I only, like, say it's your birthday and you're like, I only get one of my birthdays every year, so I'm gonna allow myself to have this special treat. That doesn't mean that it takes away from the entirety of my discipline or my mission or my, what's the word? What's the word? Purpose. Like, if your purpose is to eat healthier, maintain that. Like, have the piece of cake for that day. Then the next day, like, maintain your purpose of I have this specific diet plan. Now, I don't mean diet as in not eating. I mean diet as in this is what's in my bracket of what I should be eating to support my nutritional needs. Nutritional needs need to be met. And so that's my purpose. So, like, once you have your nutritional needs for your workout plan or whatever you have, then that goal is reached, that purpose is reached. So, just because you have, like, a piece of cake or a little thing here or there, it doesn't mean that you're not following your purpose. Oh my god, you just went to the bathroom, didn't you? Whew. Love you. Sorry. Sorry. You know how it is. Cats. Were you yelling at me because you wanted to go outside to use the bathroom instead? Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. But yeah, like, there are times to stand very firmly, and then there's times when you take a break from standing sentinel and somebody else takes that place, and then you come back after, like, a little break. If you using the bathroom, you know, like, taking care of something, taking a nap, and then you come back, like, do something fun, come back to your mission, come back to your purpose, do something, you know, come back. You don't need to spend 90% of your time on the mission, on your purpose. You can spend 85%, you know. 100% is just, like, you need to sleep, you need to eat, you need to rest, you need those things. So 90% is overdoing it. Because at least a little bit of your time needs to be allocated for actually taking care of yourself. But yeah, I'm going to, like, a minute or an hour 30. I just saw 1:24 or 44. and I need to let the cat out. So yeah, so that's just, you know, some of my perspectives, some advice, take it or leave it. Do what feels good for you, but that's kind of what the message was today. I seal off any connections that don't further need to be connected to. So any negative energies attached, anything that doesn't need to be in my space anymore, I clear up. Only my personal guides with my highest, you know, I always get the wording, I catch myself in the wording. Only those with the highest good intended may be in my life. All other energies can disperse and will disperse. And I cut myself on something. I don't know when that happened, but I'll take care of that. I'll tend to it carefully. Goodbye. Have a good day.